Okay, good evening everybody. Another round of Helga's yoga from the Burren Wellness Center in Bristol, County Clare. It's a nice rainy, soft evening outside, so I've moved my practice here into my little room. And this evening's practice will be a practice to loosen out your back, to stretch out your back safely with the aid of yoga postures. So if you have a bolster or something that could kind of support your back, that could come in really handy. I have my block here. You could use, instead of a block, a book or two, and maybe just for comfort have a cushion here or a blanket. And the other prop that we will be using in this evening's practice is a strap. So the first practice, or the first posture that I will be starting off with, is a supported back bend. And you can stay in this for as long as you feel it benefits you. The back bends are really great here when you do them over support. That will allow your back muscles to actually soften and really relax and stretch out the whole front of your torso. So if you've been doing something like you're rounding your back, you will come into the opposite and now soften the back and stretch out the front. So the back bends can be your best friend if your back is feeling a little bit worn out and tired, a little bit stiff and achy. So coming here into your support, of course, have this higher if you feel you need to place your legs into a position where you feel you're relaxed and you can let go. If you like this hip opening position, in butterfly position or Baddha Konasana with your legs, but they can't come down too much. You can put in supports here underneath one or both knees to soften the joints a little bit more. Or if you feel you have a bit more stretch ready, you can come into a cross-legged. So this can be always a wonderful posture after a long drive or digging in the garden or anything else that would have you more in a rounded back for extended periods of time, and this would be your counter pose. So you could be here for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe this is as far as you would like to take your posture practice on a busy day. If you like cross-legged at some point, please cross over the other way just to balance out. I won't be staying here now for too much longer. This is just to remind you that this supported back bend is really, really nice, really, really good for your back, very relaxing. And then to come out of it, you don't even need to sit up. You could just roll to one side of your bolster and then push it out to the side, all the way back onto the mat. If it feels good, you could keep your cushion or blanket in underneath the back of the head. So for our next few poses, we will be on the floor, and the counter pose for your back bend is hugging the knees in, maybe rocking and rolling a bit from side to side so the back rounds a little bit. You can circle the knees. There is a lot of different ways how to do this pose. Be creative, matching the movement to the breath. And if you want to counter pose the back bend a little bit stronger, you could hold on to your feet and just for a breath or 2 or 3, bringing the forehead up to the kneecap, keeping the knees in nice and close, don't letting them splay out, and then rolling the back down and taking the feet down onto the mat. Extra stretch here for the neck, making a little cushion here with your interlaced fingers, picking up the weight of the head in your hands so the neck muscles aren't working. That's a lovely stretch. And then from here, just turning the head with your hands from side to side. Doesn't need to be very far, just as far as feels comfortable. And then returning to center, a bit of traction on the neck and easing the head down to the floor. Brilliant. So from here, we will continue with our strap. And we will bring both knees in, so we can bring the strap just to the balls of the feet and extend both legs up towards the ceiling. Now, if you need to bend your knees, that's absolutely fine, because you want to keep the back of the pelvis down on the floor. Once you feel that you're rounding up, relax the legs, bend the knees, maybe take the feet a little wider apart so that the back of the pelvis is definitely down on the floor. Stretching into the little toe sides of feet. So big toes, little toes, all 10 toes are on one line, and if you can, really favoring the stretch into the heels. You can allow your legs to rock here, where you get the deepest stretch and still have the back of the pelvis on the mat. Maybe holding it there for a couple rounds of breath, checking in, where do I feel this the most? The right and left leg have the same sensations. And then opening up a little bit wider, giving yourself more strap. Maybe you have a belt or belt from your bathrobe. It's all good. Into a nice wide angled position. And if it feels good, rocking a bit from side to side. Really nice. So from here we will flow into happy baby pose. So for your happy baby pose, you can just keep the knees now as wide as they are, but bend them, bringing the feet in a little bit. And if your hands don't come up to the feet, you can just stay with the strap. If you don't need the strap, you can bring the hands to the little toe side there of both feet. To me, this is the ultimate back stretch. So again, the back of the pelvis is on the floor. I'm not rounding up. I want to really lengthen the lumbar spine, the back of the pelvis down to the floor. So you might feel your abdominal muscle having to come in a little bit to lengthen the back. The ankles line up with the knees, and you have your lovely yogic breath here to open up. Another variation could be where of an inhale, you extend one leg for as much as it wants to extend. Exhale, the knee bends. Inhale, extending into the other leg. Exhale, the leg bends. And from here, extending the legs again, stretching out. Now I keep my left leg here in the strap, and I just bring the right leg out in beside it. And from here now I bring the right leg down really slowly. Maybe with each exhale, maybe even slower. So whenever you feel that your back begins to either round or arch, soften. So you might end up in a position with the right foot on the mat. Might end up in a position with the leg a little bit more extended, but the knee quite strongly bent. Wherever your body tells you you need to hold this, or if you're quite flexible, both legs can be long, so your legs are kind of in an L shape. You want to feel your left buttock not just resting on the floor, but you really want to press into it, and at the same time reaching up the heel towards the ceiling as if you're holding up the ceiling. It's a really good leg stretch. And we are sitting so much, we are driving a lot in our cars, we're tweaking our legs all the time, so this is really a wonderful practice to extend all the leg muscles. And the leg muscles are coming right up here into the back of the pelvis, and they pull on the pelvis if they're shortened, and that can contribute to back pain, hip pain, knee pain. And once your leg is opening up here, you can begin to let it rock. Just letting it rock. Nice and slow. Feeling it out, what sensations are coming up. And then for me, the sensations are the strongest when my leg is here, and I just hold it here and let the leg relax. So I'm not losing my grounding point, and I'm still stretching, pressing down into the mat, at the same time reaching into the heel. And as I hold here, I can feel the sensations easy. Brilliant. And then slowly coming back. That's my center. And then letting the leg rock in the other direction. So for me, the sensations are getting quite strong when I'm here. So I just try to relax into this shape for a few rounds of breath. Oh, yeah, lovely. Getting easier. And then coming back through center, and then from here just letting my straight leg circle a little bit. Both directions. This is really nice to make the hip joint a little bit more mobile and juiced up. And then from here I'm turning the toes in, the heel out, and then reversing it, toes out, heel in. So this is my inner rotation, this is my outer rotation. Really nice and easy. Lovely. And then finding my center position. And from here bending the right knee down, getting the left knee down, getting the right foot up, extending both legs. Wow, it's amazing how the left one feels so much easier than the right. So I keep the right one there and really slowly see which position my left leg now is choosing. And as the left leg is coming down, I can feel the sensations in the right leg changing, because now my connective tissues are in a different situation. So once your left leg has settled, you feel the back of your pelvis is still on the floor, hips are side by side, maybe feeling your abdominal muscles help you to support the spine down to the floor, letting the leg rock. Feeling it out, yeah. For me it's quite strong right here, so I hold this and see what happens. Sometimes it stays the same, and then I know I have to come back to it tomorrow. Other times it gets maybe stronger, and then I have to make it a little easier, and other times the sensations ease off. And then after a few rounds of breath, returning through center, letting the leg rock in the other direction. Oh yeah, it's good and strong here. I hold. If it gets too strong, I could bend the knee a little bit. If it gets easier for a breath or two, I could take the leg a little bit closer in. And then relaxing and doing a few little circles. Juicing up. And from here, my inner and outer rotations. Turning the leg, turning the thigh bone in the hip socket. Lovely. Coming back through center, bending the knee down, taking the strap off and shaking out both legs. Well done. Okay, now from here we move up a little bit more into the back, so hugging the knees. Of course, what we all like to do is just to roll from side to side. This is really great for the back, but it's also really great for the back to tuck the chin and to begin to rock in the other direction. If that's a bit challenging, you could always have your hands on the floor and support the body, keeping the chin tucked so the back of the head can't ever get hit against the floor. And coming back down, doing a few more postures here, so taking the feet down to the floor and mobilizing the spine. So coming here into a nice deep arch as I inhale, as I exhale, pressing the back down into the mat. Inhale, lifting as much of the spine off. Exhale, hugging it down. And then relaxing the back into its neutral position. I'm taking my left ankle in front of the right knee. Eye of the needle is my left hand. I can stretch the left knee out and away from me to get a nice stretch here into the hip and the outside of the leg or wherever else
as you might be feeling it. If you still have capacity to go deeper, you can take the left foot down towards the right hip crease. You can have your hands below the right knee, top of the right knee, into what's called eye of the needle. Again, like before with our supported back bend, you can stay here for as long as you feel this posture is serving you. You're getting a nice stretch. You feel the body releasing. For this evening's demonstration, I release here. I come back with right foot down to the floor. I stretch the arms out to the side. Exhale, coming into a nice contained little spinal twist. So you see now that my left buttock, the left side of my lower back is up and away from the floor. My left shoulder, my left arm is on the mat or on the ground. So this is a spinal twist, getting a nice deep stretch right here through the buttock, through the side. Coming through center, a little break, anything that feels good for you. And then coming into eye of the needle on the other side. So you can either stretch the knee away, or you can hug in. You can take the foot lower down towards the hip crease, choosing your hand position. Wherever you feel, you get a nice stretch. The back of the pelvis is still down on the floor. Hold here for as long as this feels like a good place to be. And then coming back, spinal twist. And then from here, coming through center again, any stretch, any move that feels good. And coming up into seated, so you could roll over onto one side and have your hands and arms support you coming up, or you can rock up into seated. From here, we're going to come into cat-cow tilts, moving the spine. So this is just another variation of what I've just done on the floor, mobilizing the spine. Inhale, exhale. Now the movements get a little bit bigger. Inhale, the head moves back. I stretch through the neck and the toes point towards the back of the head. Exhale, forward to kneecap. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then off an exhale, taking the foot through. It just comes to here. Pick it up. So you come into what's called a low lunge. If your knee doesn't like to be on the floor, have a blanket there, and it also helps to curl the toes under so your muscles around the knee are supporting the knee joint in itself. Just allowing the hips to relax, to open up, and the pelvis to move forward and down. So if you feel that your pelvis is somewhat here, see if you can over time relax it and it comes more forward and down. Knee joint lines up with the ankle. You can have your hands on the floor, or you can have your hands on blocks. Just relaxing here. Really great stretch for all the hip muscles right into the buttocks and the lower back. Another variation, if you feel very comfortable here and you feel you could take a stronger variation, you could bring one hand after the next to the front knee. So now there's a bit more weight going through the lower torso, weighing the hips down, bringing the pelvis a bit more forward and down. Yeah, and then coming back. Taking the knees as wide as your mat. Big toes touch, sitting back against the heel if that's difficult. You could have your bolster or foam roller or your blocks to sit back. See? Take the blocks in. A really wide angle child's pose. Staying here again for as long as you like. Child's pose in all its different variations is a wonderful posture to relax, to stretch out the back, to relax the nervous system. But for this evening's practice, I just return here to my all fours position. Get cow tilts, inhale, exhale, coming into low lunge on the other side. The left leg moves. You can either just swing the left foot through between the hands, or picking up the foot, coming forward, bringing in your blanket underneath the right knee, and encouraging the pelvis to move forward and down. Maybe the hands towards the front knee. So I'm just moving through here quite fast. So we'll get another pose in. Of course, you can stay here, relax into it, and have as many breaths as feels good. Back. And setting up here for your wide-angled child's pose. Maybe it's a variation this time, taking the arms alongside the body. Maybe even interlacing the fingers and stretching the arms out. And then having your hands again support you into upright. And from here, choosing your position to close down your practice. You could do it in seated, but if that is more strenuous for your back, coming down again to the floor. Drawing the shoulder blades in and relaxing down for Shavasana. Taking a nice few minutes here to let the practice be absorbed by your body, to really feel in and see how your back is doing now after your back sequence. And whenever you want to come out of your lying down Shavasana practice, bending the knees, stretching the arms up, see if you can lengthen out, and then from here rolling over onto one side, hands and arms support you, coming up into a seated position. I hope you have enjoyed the sequence. I hope your back will really, really like it. Thank you very much for listening and viewing. Namaste.